The price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Rule 1: never lose your money. Rule 2: never forget Rule 1. The danger comes from not knowing what you're doing. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think like that, things will change. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Unless you make too many mistakes, you only have to do very little in your life properly. I always knew I was going to be rich. I don't think I ever doubted it for a minute. The stock market is a device that transfers money from impatient people to patients. You can't make a good deal with a bad person. In the business world, the rearview mirror is always clearer than the windscreen. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree once upon a time. Opportunities seldom come. When the crack falls, put out a bucket, not a thimble. I like to get along with people better than you do. Choose colleagues who behave better than you, and you will drift in that direction. I have no intention of jumping over a 7-foot bar. I look around for a 1-foot bar that I can cross. If history in the past was all about the game, the richest people would be librarians. Our favorite holding period is forever. The best thing I did was choose the right hero. I tried to buy stocks of companies that are so cool that a fool can run them. Because sooner or later, people will. You work when the opportunity comes. I had a period in my life when many ideas came up, and I went through a long dry period. I'll do something when I get an idea next week. If not, I wouldn't do anything. The chains of habits are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. It is much better to buy a good company at a fair price than a fair one. If you're the luckiest 1% of mankind, thinking about the other 99% is owed to another human being. Today's investors don't benefit from yesterday's growth. You cannot build a reputation for what you are about to do. I buy expensive suits. They just look cheap to me. Honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't count on cheap people. If you find yourself falling into a hole, the most important thing is to stop digging. Wall Street is the only place where people take Rolls-Royce to get advice from subway riders. Investment success has nothing to do with IQ once it's above 125. Once you have normal intelligence, what you need is a temperament to control the urge to put others in trouble investing. There's a recession and the stock market is falling. If you don't understand that that's going to happen, you're not ready, and you're not going to do well in the market. The only way to get love is to be lovely. It's very annoying if you have a lot of money. You'll think you can write a check. I'll buy $1 million worth of love. But it doesn't work that way. The more love you give, the more you get. Time is a friend of a wonderful company, an enemy of an ordinary company. I'm not trying to jump over the bar. I'm looking for a bar low enough to cross. I don't help predicting or predicting at all. They create an illusion of apparent accuracy. The more meticulous they are, the more worried you should be. We never look at projections. If it's inconvenient to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. The best investment you can make is in yourself. Polls cannot replace ideas. Business schools reward more difficult and complex behavior than simple behavior, but simple behavior is more effective. You must invest in a business that even a fool can run, because one day you will run a fool. The key to investment is not to assess how much the industry will affect society and how much it will grow, but to determine the competitive advantage of a given company and, above all, the durability of that advantage. I don't feel like I'm in the papers every day. If you run a business that buys a business, you won't feel much excitement in your life. If you find yourself falling into a hole, the most important thing is to stop digging. If you want to perform better than the crowd, you have to work differently from the crowd. If you don't know jewelry, know the jeweler. I'll tell you how to be rich. Lock the doors. Be afraid when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are afraid. You work when the opportunity comes. I had a period in my life when many ideas came up, and I went through a long dry period. I'll do something when I get an idea next week. If not, I wouldn't do anything. The smarter reporters are, the better off society is. To some extent, people read the media to make themselves known. And the better the teacher, the better the students do. The most important investment you can make is yourself. As long as you don't make too many mistakes, you only have to do very little in your life properly.